recovered, notice recovered is the operative word there, from your holiday break. And so we're really glad to have you back and have you here so early this morning. I'm Sherry Roth, I'm the Director of ESE and Student Services, and we're thrilled to have some excellent agency representation here this morning, as well as Carly Detlefson from Project 10, who is going to give us the most up-to-date information and really just an overview of the important issues regarding transition for our students, because we want them all to be very successful as they transition in all areas of their career and certainly their school career, and certainly as they leave us, they go on to post-secondary education. So we had a great team that has worked hard to put this together, and I want to introduce a couple of them this morning. Chris Ryan, Roseanne Arvin, and we've got a whole team outside who were probably busy with helping you find your name on the sign-in sheet and making sure that we had you all sorted out, and I don't want to leave anybody else out, but folks have worked really hard to make sure you've got a great morning this morning. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Diane, and we thank you, and I hope that you leave here with lots of good information about how we can support our students.
For all ages, the reason we are doing this today is because we wanted to bring everybody together to learn about all the opportunities that are available to our students with disabilities once they leave the education system and what is out there for them. Go ahead. As you know, we're going to innovate, engage, and empower you. We want you to leave here today with some information that you can share to other families and students that you work with, and also for you to learn about some of the opportunities out there for you. This is the Clay County Framework, Intentional Targeted Teaching. Today we're going to be focusing on the independent learning. Our purpose today is to provide the agency information and resources to promote successful transitions to all students. We're going to be talking about a little bit about legislative changes and also ways to prepare our students for all ages for post-secondary outcomes. We obviously don't have time to cover everything today. We would love to, but we're going to just be touching upon the most important points today.
And with that, so if you think about yourself as an adult, you have the self-determination and self-advocacy skills, obviously, that you needed to get to where you are today. It is likely that for the majority of us, nobody had to sit down with us and say, let me teach you how to self-advocate, let me teach you how to set goals and trajectory in life. Although we've had people likely that have influenced us. But for our students with disabilities, most of them need very specific instruction and direction in order to become successful. Because they don't own the skills naturally or are not in the environment to get those skills. And so, why is it important then to teach students of all ages? We're talking from our pre-K, very significantly disabled students, to our grade 12 students. Why then is it so important to teach them self-determination and self-advocacy skills? Why? What are we hoping is the outcome for them? So if you would grab the Post-its that you got out there, get with a neighbor, get at least one reason why it's important, and put it on the walls on the Post-it charts.
This will be a challenge for me. I'm not used to standing on the spot. I move around all the time. As Diane said, I'm Carly Detlefson. I'm with Project 10. We are a discretionary project with the Florida Department of Ed. And we cover all 60 some odd school districts in the state. We provide training and technical assistance in the areas of transition. Areas of transition range from any of the 4 main indicators that deal with transition, which is graduation rate, dropout, IEP compliance, and post-school outcomes. Was that? today to talk about some of the new changes and some of the hot topics that have come up lately as it pertains to transition. When we talk about transition through the ages and we talk about exceptional student education, it's not just ESC students that transition. Everybody transitions. So it's, we always talk about things we do for ESC, but what we do for ESC is good for all students. So when we talk about transitions, there's a couple different definitions. The one up on the screen now is just your basic Webster Dictionary definition. The process or period of changing from one state or condition to another. But when we talk mostly about the work that we do in transition, we talk about the second definition. We are looking at students' strengths, preferences, interests, and needs, and we're making decisions based on those things that are going to affect them later in life and as they transition from one stage to another.
So glad to see you all here and Happy New Year. Welcome back. Thank you. My name is Veronica Hoffman and I'm here today from the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. I'm here with my supervisor in the back, Yvonne Gilly-Williams, and my fellow counselor in Vocational Rehabilitation, Shamara Brown. And we're here today to give you an overview of our program, excuse me, and some of the services that we provide. What do you know about vocational rehabilitation? Exactly, great. Yeah, our agency's mission is to help people with disabilities to prepare for work, to gain employment, and to maintain employment.
Teachers at school have a concern about students' academic or emotional and social emotional issues and go through the multi-tiered system of support process?
Because I'm not seeing a lot of students, the reason why I ask, I'm not seeing a lot of students who have psychological evaluations done that identify themselves as students with disabilities from Clay County.
They have them, they may not know how to access them.
They may not know how to access. How would I tell them to access them?
Their parent was given a copy at the initial staffing.
$70 from Medicaid. Other states will match those Medicaid dollars, either dollar for dollar, or they'll make up the difference in what Medicaid provides that state, what that state needs in order to not have a wait list. Florida is not one of those states. So we do receive some funding at a local level or a state level, but it is not enough to take everyone who is eligible for our services and move them to a source of funding. So we have a wait list. Currently, our wait list is about 20,000 deep statewide.
I wanted to tie in what Carly was talking about when she talked about the self-determination and the self-advocacy. As a social, emotional part of that, as mental health counselors, that's what we step in. I'm sure you can think about a student right now that you can say, not too determined or may need help with the advocacy part. That's where Brian and I step in. I service high school students. I have 3.5, I say 3.5 because there are only a couple of students at one school now. 3.5 high schools that I service. I tell you, it's stretched, but when I can see what's happening and see the results in the data, what we notice, those students that need the help with the self-determination and self-advocacy doesn't always end up being ESC students. It could be ESC military.
An executive order with a minimum wage of 10.10, January 1 to 15 is 10.15. So as our contracts are renewed, we're always on a 5-year plan. So as they're renewed, the minimum wage is going to be, we had to lay off a couple people. We really tried to put people in commercial work. But if you live downtown-ish or south side or somewhere, and you don't have your own transportation, or even if you did, going all the way to Green Cove to work in our warehouse, that's not so good. and our commercial work being in Clay County. That's why we need commercial work in the Jacksonville area. But our other jobs, like at Body Star, for example, that's minimum wage. I think minimum wage is $8.05 and we pay $8.07. Now, in the warehouse, doing those piece rate jobs, they're paid piece rate.
Depends upon the job that you're at.
Yeah, yeah.
You work for the government, you better get far and get up $10, if not, you get your profit.
Well, you,
Whatever your capability.
like you are now, but as things change, you won't be able to work on the government contract. We can't subsidize, $3 or $4 an hour on a government job. So